Before I read my last poem, I want to thank all of you for coming out and visiting us tonight, and just it feels so wonderful to be supported. Poets are maybe the most supported artists in the world, and I also want to thank Dom for coming and playing for us. Just adding that. Really wonderful texture to the evening. Please, if you haven't already, sign our sign-up sheet and guest book so that we can email you a thank you for coming. My last poem, I just want to say real quick, it's about my father, and my father's in his 80s, and we haven't always got along very well. He was an Air Force officer, very strong-willed, tough guy, protecting the country, which I respect. But I didn't want to be a lieutenant in his Air Force. So a lot of years. But anyway, he's in his 80s now, and we actually are starting to really get along and talk more. He actually loves it when I call him, and I'm calling him more and more now. And so it's that wonderful thing of kind of making peace with, believe me, 15 years ago I thought this day would never happen. Also, he's been in the hospital a little bit. He has prostate cancer, but they caught it right away, and it's very common for his age group, and they're doing the radiation stuff. And so, but he was in the hospital 2 nights ago because he had a little infection, and so I found myself calling him every day just to see if he was okay. I wasn't going to be able to do this reading tonight if he wasn't okay, and he's home and with my mom. So. This is called Wayfarer. I am the richest man in the library. A head full of ideas, stomach filled with provisions from Trader Joe's, paid sometimes with my food stamp card. I walk down Forbes Avenue feeling employed with being myself. It's hard sometimes. I keep wanting to be someone else. Maybe Zeus, or a gardener in a Jane Austen novel. The newspapers say times are tough. My father calls. He's lost a little in the stocks. He's depressed, needs my encouragement. I take on the role a son perennially acquires when his father lives to old age, invisibly patting my dad on the back while making him feel still in charge. I sympathize with him and his finances. He clears his throat. How do you do it? He asks in the sincerest way I've ever heard him ask. I don't avoid the question, but I want to. My dad is a Great Depression child. His father waited in soup lines. Dad, I say, I get on with a little prayer and having a dream and not believing that employment is always superior to being broke. I get along by being forgiven by my friends and challenged by them and fed by them. That's good, son, he says. And what about those Steelers? That was quite a Sunday. Did you see it? He says. I say I had. I say yes. I say this to almost everything, and in a way, it's true. I'm both hero, villain, and witness of almost everything unexpected. Yes, I say. They pulled it out at the last second. Silence fills the last part of our talk. He doesn't want to say, I hope you do too. And I don't want to say, when you're gone, Dad, something of my carefree nature will go too. Thank you.
Geez, Carrie, that was a good choice for the last one. Something in my eye there. It's probably allergies. I like to close readings with this poem. Poor Mike. I've read so many poems that were in a slanted way about him, but this is my absolute favorite. And so my husband and I, we knew each other for a very long time, 8 years before we started dating even. And we broke up, and then we got back together. And when we got back together, we kind of knew this was it, because, I mean, getting back together after you've broken up with someone like that, and then it's got to be serious. But I couldn't say it. I couldn't say how much it meant to me. I didn't know. So I was a visual artist, as I said, and did a lot of painting and gluing, trying to express myself. This is called In Place of Speech. Rebus. While you slept, I drew a story on your back. It tells you what I cannot say aloud. See a body in motion, stilled, inked limbs akimbo. 2 bodies interlocked, 8-armed monsters rise from the pictogram. Our consonants mesh together in the mouth, aphasia of ecstasy, each word a holy name. Oil. Here, we look more like brother and sister, I, your shadowy twin. You are green gold, turquoise, translucent white. For me, paint in broad strokes, sienna, bright blue, pewter gray. Use your fingers. Add pink, silver with a detail brush. Practice first. This last part is harder to get right. If you step back, you can distinguish a palm, a breast, our eyes, your neck. Our hair swirls together like a sandstorm. Diptych. We sleep like sarcophagi of queen and king, stately, large eyes watching other worlds. We sleep like lovers laid in a double grave. On our backs, hands joined, bodies framed in ripples of burgundy. I am less afraid, knowing we will return to the same dust. Kinetic installation. We're made of painted wood, suspended with wires. Gears click, lock, turn. There's an equation to describe our movement through space. We are exactly the sum of our parts. We are also sphere and bird wings, thorns, knotholes, electricity, fractured light. To the atoms that roll and shiver within us, our bodies, our universe. Thanks.